The Minnesota Vikings will host the New York Giants on Monday, October 3rd. Mike Zimmer's job has been nothing short of remarkable with the bruised and broken psyche of the Minnesota Vikings. Last week could have been the team's breaking point with a trip to Charlotte to take on the Carolina Panthers, but the Vikings dominated on the road to improve to 3-0. Now Minnesota has a golden chance to go 4-0 on Monday Night Football. The New York Giants are hoping to spoil the party and pull off the outright upset as 5-point favorites. First-year head coach Ben McAdoo is off to a solid 2-1 start straight up and a 1-2 record against the spread. Through 3 weeks, the largest margin of victory in a Giants game is just 3 points. By the statistics, it seems like the New York Giants should be doing better. Eli Manning has completed 71% of his passes, and he has thrown for nearly 298 yards per game. But he has a 4-3 touchdown interception ratio and has been sacked 6 times. The running game hasn't given him a whole lot of help, and now Shane Vereen has been placed on injured reserve. Vereen was the leading rusher with 147 yards on the ground, and he has also caught 8 balls for 75 yards. Players like that are huge in today's NFL, so that's a big loss for the Giants. Fortunately, Victor Cruz has returned, and he seems like he's gradually getting back to the player he was. The trio of Odell Beckham Jr., Sterling Shepard, and Victor Cruz is a matchup nightmare for any opposing defense. Turnover margin has been the primary reason for the hardships faced by the Giants' defense. The team is -6 in turnover margin, and the defense has given up 61 points as a result. Opposing teams have scored on 48.4% of their drives against the Giants, with the help of short fields. The Giants have held opponents to just 3.2 yards per carry, which is second best mark in the NFL. The defense is pretty average across the board in a lot of other statistics. A better pass rush would help, as the Giants have just 4 sacks, but turnovers illustrate the story for the Giants so far this season. It's pretty fair to say that the expectations on the Vikings got entirely too low when Teddy Bridgewater went down. Even with the loss of Adrian Peterson, the Vikings didn't bat an eye. The Vikings are 3-0 and they haven't scored more than 25 points in a game this season. It has been a major struggle offensively for Minnesota, and Adrian Peterson is now out with a torn meniscus. The Vikings have managed 2.1 yards per carry. Sam Bradford is 40 of 59 for 457 yards, 3 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. So he has been everything the Vikings could ask for. Stefan Diggs is in the midst of a breakout season as he has hauled in 20 of his 26 targets for 325 yards. On defense, the Vikings are ferocious. The defense is only allowed 3.5 yards per carry and has 15 sacks to lead the NFL. Minnesota is second in the NFL in takeaways with 9. Only the Chiefs have more with 10, but 8 of those came in one game. Minnesota's big plays on defense have turned the tide of just about every game, including the Week 1 win over the Titans when the Vikings didn't have an offensive touchdown but had 2 defensive scores. Minnesota is tied for the lead in the NFL in fumble recoveries. If the turnover luck doesn't keep up, the plotting Minnesota offense may start to hold this team back. This line seems a little bit fishy, as the Minnesota Vikings should easily get the full 3 points, if not a little bit more, for home field advantage in a new stadium on Monday Night Football. If we conservatively give Minnesota 3 points at home, then the Vikings are only slightly better than the Giants on a neutral field. Odds makers seem to think this way, and maybe the assumption is that Minnesota's turnover luck regresses and the inefficient offense rears its ugly head against a Giants defense that has played well with all things considered. Our pick and prediction is to go with the New York Giants at +5. For our pick and prediction on this game and every other game this week, and a wealth of free stats and information, check out bangthebook.com.